Nobody enjoys searching their refrigerator for a snack or, worse, realizing that they've run out of pasta or rice for lunch. Imagine a scenario where you go to the supermarket, find nothing, and realize that the chocolate you've been craving is now 3 times more expensive. The spices you use to season the chicken are no longer available, and no matter how many supermarkets you visit, the situation remains the same. Consider this. If you don't take action now, it's highly likely that you will find yourself in a similar situation in a few months. Recent reports suggest that the global crises are causing many foods to increase in price or vanish from the market in the upcoming months, so it's crucial to stay prepared. Stay and discover. Which 8 edibles will vanish by November before we plunge into the depths? Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and activate notifications to keep up to date with our updates. First, according to the survival guides, the rule of 3 states that humans cannot survive for more than 3 weeks without food, 3 days without water, and 3 minutes without air. We want you to be aware that bottled water is becoming increasingly scarce as more people become aware of the importance of storing water and the risks of consuming contaminated water. Demand has increased so much that it sometimes exceeds production. In addition to this, we should consider the logistical challenges associated with transportation and transfer. One of the factors contributing to the shortage is its recent onset. What influences? Although it may be difficult to understand, climate change is a significant factor. Countries such as Japan, Chile, or Mexico, which are prone to hurricanes or earthquakes, are significant consumers of bottled water, despite the presence of operational water plants. When bottled water reaches its peak capacity, the demand increases due to people's fear of being unprepared during emergencies, a fear that is particularly prevalent in countries that frequently experience natural disasters. Second, we anticipate a dramatic shortage of canned vegetables in the upcoming months. Several factors are at play. The escalation in steel and aluminum prices has made the production of canned goods more costly and challenging. Even large companies are not immune to these challenges in almost all products. Reports of cost increases and delivery delays have been reported for corn peas and some grains. This has meant an increase in shortages. The growing demand from other industries and distribution challenges have led to an increase in aluminum and steel prices. These facts alone make the production of cans significantly more challenging. Yes, steel has become more expensive, leading to an increase in the overall cost of the final product. Companies must adjust their production costs, balancing between ensuring employee satisfaction to prevent strikes and accelerating shipments to maintain continuous production. The manufacturing industry, there is very little demand for their products, and they must either take care of their workers or face increasing delays in deliveries. The problem lies in the fact that despite their efforts, the shortage and price inflation continue to drive up the cost of the third spice. Here, we discuss a wide range of topics. Pepper cinnamon, it's not butternut. In countries like India and Vietnam, the next list of products typically includes any powder that enhances the flavor of your food. These regions play a crucial role in the production of spices, but they are currently facing significant challenges due to ongoing transportation disruptions, which exacerbate the shortage in certain areas. New political restrictions are limiting spice exports, but they are making it harder to get them out. In their country, this happens due to fear. The unstable climate has significantly reduced the crops in these regions, leading to a shortage of spices. As a result, they prefer to keep these spices in their country for domestic consumption. Currently, exports of black pepper are virtually non-existent. For this reason, Vietnam has implemented a similar strategy for cinnamon. Vietnam must safeguard these highly valued products within its borders. If your country is not an ally of the producing countries or in close proximity to this region, you may face a severe shortage in the coming months. I've observed a shortage of peanut butter, echoing the discussions in earlier posts. Various challenges confront the production of peanut butter. Fertilizers, pesticides, tools, and labor have all become more expensive in the agriculture industry, gradually increasing the cost of producing peanuts. This increase in costs affects the entire process. It forces farmers to produce less butter, which in turn raises the price. The law of supply and demand. The price of fertilizers and pesticides has recently increased due to the high demand from other agricultural sectors, which are also in general need of these resources. Due to unstable climates and recent storms, the production of plants and vegetables in many countries has become increasingly dependent on these resources. Due to competition in all markets for fertilizers, the price of phosphorus and potassium, two of the most important fertilizers, is rising. Prices for the peanut industry have surged by 30% in the past year alone, indicating a likely price hike and intensified scarcity of cooking oils, even though few anticipate it. They are beginning to become scarce. This has to do with the new trend towards biofuels and renewable energy. More and more countries are taking climate change seriously as they notice the devastating effects it is having on the climate. Countries are reducing their carbon footprint by avoiding the use of fossil products, investing in natural fuels, and implementing new energy policies that shift part of the vegetable oil industry to produce biodiesel, a less harmful fuel. The issue lies in the limited supply of oil. As fuel production consumes more soybeans, sunflowers, and canola, it leaves less for food production. This leads to the emergence of shortages, which in turn leads to inflation. This only seems to be getting worse. In fact, the European Union has mandated that a certain percentage of all the fuels they produce, including biodiesel, must come from renewable sources. If you run out of oil tomorrow, remember that you will at least have a full tank now. The prices of raw materials are rising. The manufacturing process's costs are rising, employee salaries are rising, and the distribution phase is facing challenges. These factors, coupled with a growing global demand over the past few years, have resulted in a decrease in the production of chips, while at the same time, there is a growing demand for more. This is a consequence of the law of supply and demand. Without control, the explanation is more succinct. While there are many factors at play, the primary one is the rising prices of raw materials such as corn, sugar, and wheat. These raw materials are becoming extremely expensive, making it impossible to sustain the industry. If you want to be able to continue eating Doritos in a couple of months, we recommend that you buy and save as much rice as possible. When we talk about rice, we talk about India. Whether we like it or not, India alone produces 40% of the world's rice. India is the world's largest consumer of rice and currently does not wish to share it with other countries. Previous posts and videos have featured India, so this is not a new issue. The reason for this is the implementation of new political restrictions that limit the amount of rice India can export. This is what is preventing the entire world from enjoying a good lunch. Storms and unstable weather have significantly diminished the rice production field's capacity, leading to a decrease in rice production. India prefers to keep its rice domestically rather than exporting it to countries like China and Thailand. Something similar happens. Although in different proportions, these countries aim to stabilize the internal market before exporting the product. This seems unlikely in the short term. Labor strikes are the cause of the current coffee shortage, which is unprecedented in its history and primarily affects large coffee-producing countries like Colombia, most of which are situated in South America. None of these countries are exempt from the problem. Strikes are occurring more frequently. Employees demand better wages and working conditions thanks to this. The entire industry is facing challenges such as delays in deliveries, difficulties in harvesting all the beans, or insufficient supply to meet the overall demand. We must prepare for coffee's decline, even though we don't want to. Whether we want to prepare our emergency reserve for the upcoming months depends on each individual. Remember, no one else can do it for you. If you want to overcome any complicated situation, you must start now. We have reached the end of the video. If you liked it, leave it below in the comments. It greatly aids us in continuing to produce content of this nature. Also, leave your likes and subscribes. Don't miss out while we upload more quality content. Your presence helps us to continue growing until next time.